Warning. This video contains graphic scenes of hunting or pest control. Do not watch this video if such imagery might offend you.
Hello again, folks. Changing up the theme a bit for today. Typically my channel is hunting videos. This is not hunting, but rather a bona fide pest control video in a residential area. The area where I live is mostly rural, but with some clusters of homes in between large tracts of woods and farmland. These residential clusters create a magnet for squirrels, since the predator population around the homes is quite low compared to the surrounding woodland and farm areas, and their population numbers explode if not kept under control. The squirrels begin to compete with each other, and this often leads to damage to both the homes and the properties. They invade people's attics and crawl spaces, chew through wiring, cause damage to trees through clipping and bark stripping, and decimate people's gardens during the spring and summer months. The hunting that I do around the properties helps a great deal in controlling the overall numbers, but often the squirrels that are residing in their drays up by the homes need to be handled as well. This video is handling those particular squirrels. Alright, so we'll start to get into some action here. Been following this squirrel for a little while, as he's kind of jumping around the yard here. He's about to give me a chance to line up on him. Clean shot to the head. He stood up real nice for me, didn't he? Bit of flopping and twitching as expected with these headshots. Usually indicative of a good clean kill. After just a few seconds, he's expired. Getting on to the next guy here. He was actually at a feeder that I have set up on the property, right in front of my garage actually. Had another camera mounted down there to get some additional footage, but unfortunately that camera failed to record, actually stopped recording about halfway through, unfortunately. So it's all scope cam footage for this video. But I think it turned out pretty decent. He was trying to time it as he grabs sunflower seeds. Right between the eyes. Bit of twitching, but another good clean kill. I sure wish that camera would have been working down there. It would have been a nice shot. I get on another one here, running around in the yard. He's at about 40, maybe 45 yards right there. Those are some targets that I have set up in the yard for the Airguns. There's a crossbow target there too. That's a bag target. And so that brush in the back, that's right at about 45 yards. So I'd say he's about 40 right there. A lot of jumping around, moving around. It makes this difficult. Just when they stop for a second, you think you can get a shot off, and then they twitch or they move. It always helps when you cock the gun, of course. I should also mention I'm using an air gun for this type of pest control. It's great for residential areas. And as I took my eye off the scope to cock the gun, I realized that a second squirrel had come in towards the right just a little bit. So I'm actually on that second squirrel now and tracking it. See, this one looks like it's got a little bit of the mange or something like that. I'm no orthopedist, but that can be a sign of overpopulation in my opinion. Another clean shot to the head. He stopped just long enough. Bit of twitching, and he's soon done. We get on another guy here. He said it's a deck rail in the way. I actually couldn't even shoot right here if he gave me the opportunity. That deck rail was so close the pellet would have hit it. Even though I could clearly see the squirrel through the scope. Lots of jerky movements. Running around, hopping around. I just try to keep track of them, hoping that they'll get to a point where they feed and they stop. A lot of times when I'm hunting, I'll put out sunflower seeds or other feed to get them to stop. But there's nothing here in the yard. I mean, there's acorns and other natural stuff that's out there, but I haven't put anything out there to try to get them to stop. And this is the reason why I so often do that. I put sunflower seeds or whatever else out there to get them to stop at known distances. Get into a feeding pattern, because otherwise you just deal with this. They're just running around, jerking around all over the place. That's that deck rail again. This guy's a bit of a challenge, isn't he? It's also tough to keep track of ranges as they move around so much. They can go from 20 to 40 yards real quick, and you might not even realize it when you have your eye on the scope the entire time. And so I try to use the adjustable objective to use the focus to try to gauge the range, and then also I'll pull my eye off the scope. There he stops just long enough. I wasn't going to waste that opportunity. Clean shot to the head, right behind the eye. Flopping and twitching as expected. Keeping an eye on him just to make sure no follow-up needed. It won't be needed here. He's done. Get on another guy here. He's about 40 yards or so, just in front of that brush line. Same as before. Lots of jerking around, quick movements, constantly moving. This one looks like he's got a little mange as well. Not entirely sure what causes that. I do believe that part of the reason is overpopulation, but I'm not sure. And I say the term mange, it could be something completely different. But I do think that overpopulation is a big contributor to stuff like that. Hopping around my targets again, like a couple of the other ones. Not a very smart squirrel, is it? I'm just trying to patiently wait him out. He'll get to the point where he either picks up an acorn or he goes to bury an acorn. There's so many oak trees around here. He's starting to get pretty far now. I think he's about 45, maybe 50 yards. As he's moving across the property. Another deck railing getting in the way. Another example of where I couldn't shoot. Even if he presented me with a good shot, the pellet would hit that railing, even though it doesn't look like it would. He was probably 40 yards before. I think now he's getting into the 45, 50 yard range. To try to take a headshot there to look good, but he hopped right off, and I pulled my optoscope. I kept an eye on him, and he ran right off. I went out there looking for him. Wasn't able to find him at all, unfortunately. So not quite sure what happened there. Even looking at the video, it looked like it was a decent shot, and even if I misjudged the range, it should have got him in a good area of the body. But yeah, he was nowhere to be found, unfortunately. So out of the 5 attempts, we got 4 headed towards the freezer. And that's about it, folks. You can see the one on the bottom there held onto that acorn until the bitter end. It wasn't my intention to only have scope cam for this video, but that's kind of the way it happened due to some technical difficulties. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.